Alright, welcome back to the Guitar Scales playlist. In the last lesson we looked at scales in any key, and in this lesson we're going to take a look at chord tone soloing. So let's get into it. So let's take the following situation. Let's say you start jamming with a group of people, and they don't know their music theory or their scales, or maybe they know a lot and they're just doing some advanced thing that you don't know too much about. But they have a chord progression and it sounds good. But they're just four random chords and you don't know what scale they're in, so therefore you don't know what scale to improvise with. What do? Well, you can learn the chord progression and play the notes in each chord while it's being played. This will also help you make your solos sound better when you're improvising if you target certain chord tone notes. So what is chord tone soloing exactly? Let's take a chord progression, E minor and G major. The notes of E minor are E, G, and B, and the notes of G major are G, B, and D. So when we're improvising, all we're going to do is target these notes. And this is kind of the essence of what chord tone soloing is. So how do you practice this? First off, this is advanced. We have to first know our intervals. We have to know how chords are constructed, where chords come from, basic technique, good timing, and good phrasing. If you don't know any of these, check out these playlists listed right next to it, and I have a video of each of these in that playlist. So there's a few ways we can go about targeting these notes. One, we can use the cage system, and if you don't know what that is, check out this playlist. There's a video in it. We could also use our chord shapes that we've learned already from this playlist, or we could use arpeggios, and that's the one that I'm going to kind of focus in on this lesson right here because I haven't really touched on it, so I figured I'd do it in this one. Okay, so here we have the E minor and G major arpeggios all the way up and down the neck. Like I said before, the notes of the E minor arpeggio, the E minor chord, are just E, G, and B. So all these are the E, G, and B notes on the entire fretboard. For the G major chord, the notes are G, B, and D, and all those notes are shown right here as well. And what we're going to do is just focus on these two shapes right here. Here's a blown up picture of both of them. So what we're going to do to practice this and to learn these shapes is we're going to play to a backing track. It's just going to be an E minor and a G minor progression. And anytime the E minor is played right on the first beat, try to target one of these notes right off the bat. And do the same thing when the G major comes around. Target one of these notes right off the bat, right on the first beat. Again, you can use all the backing tracks in the Guitar Scales 101 playlist to do this technique also. I have the chord progression shown, and there's a drum fill that should come in right before the chord changes, so you will know when the next note is coming up. For now, we're just going to focus on minor and major arpeggios. Obviously, we can extend this to major, minor seventh chords. We can also do diminished and suspended chords in the same fashion. But for now, let's just focus on this. Then you guys will be off and running, and you guys can practice that on your own. This is just an idea of how to get you guys going with this and how to practice it. Okay, so before I play you off here, the next lesson is in riff writing, and I hope to see you guys there. I'm going to end this by improvising over that backing track, the E minor to G major backing track, using chord tone soloing just to give you an idea. Now, because both of these chords are in the E minor / G major scale, I'm going to be sprinkling in little bits of that scale in there as well. But anytime that the chord changes, I'm going to try to target one of those chord tone notes. And you're going to start to see that this really makes a big difference in your playing. So here's the example, and I'll see you in the next lesson.